Welcome to Ground Up Growth. I'm Hannah Pittman, founder of Pittman Marketing, alongside my co-host Paul Hopper, principal broker of Hopper Real Estate Leaders. Together, we sit down with entrepreneurs and business leaders to share insights, strategies, and lessons to help you build success from the ground up.
Welcome back to Ground Up Growth. Today we have a little bit of a change up, different episode. It's just me and Hannah today. Hannah Pittman, co-host, Ground Up Growth. Thank you for coming on, Hannah.
Of course. Happy to be here.
So this episode is sponsored by Service Specialists and Environment Masters. And you will hear more about those companies during this podcast. Thank you all to our sponsors. Hannah, what are we going to do today?
So we decided to switch it up a little bit from our regular programming and do kind of just a question and answer. And I would say a little more geared towards Paul, because he's the successful, has had a longer career. But I think there's a lot of questions that people would love to just get your insight on, and we can dive a little bit deeper. So if you haven't already listened to Paul's episode, it's great, and it's one of our most listened to episodes where you just kind of talk about your career and your story. But I think we could get even a little more pointed, and there's things that you're really passionate about that we don't usually get an opportunity on other podcasts to talk about, like dive really into, because we're really talking about the guests and their story.
For sure.
So I think we just ask some questions, give some advice. Everybody loves free advice.
They do love free advice.
Yeah, people want to pick your brain.
Pick your brain.
I think Paul probably hears that a lot.
That sounds good to me.
So, okay, question. Obviously, you have this very successful career in real estate, and that started in 2009. Wait, no, 2009.
I got my real estate license in 2011. Started the brokerage in 2014.
Okay.
In July, so 12 years. Actually, on the 10th, so just past our 12th year.
Okay. So over the past 12 years, what have you become really passionate about? Like, you obviously learn different avenues and like this kind of stuff, but what do you feel like you're really passionate about?
I mean, I'm really, really passionate. I love real estate as a whole in general. Very passionate about land development. I mean, I've moved into those things just through my career, I would say. You know, it takes money to make money, and you can't just come out, get a real estate license, and start developing land. So through the years, I've morphed into that a little bit. But I am extremely passionate about anything to do with real estate. I mean, commercial properties, I've got an active dirt pit, conservation easements, rental property, whatever. So
you have a dirt pit?
I do have an active dirt pit in Benton, Mississippi.
I didn't know that.
Yes, ma'am. That was a learning curve. It's been good, but always my biggest thing is trying to like break the mold and then just push the envelope on my brain and what I know.
Yeah.
Like, my mind is just, we could talk about all kinds of stuff with that, but
recently, what's like a rabbit hole you've gone down?
A rabbit hole as far as
like a particular topic or something that you're interested in or you didn't know much about and you're trying to learn about?
Oh, so I've been developing land since I bought my first tract of land in 2010 before I got a real estate license. And there was a lot in a subdivision. And I've always had that bug about land development, but I've never been privy to it. Don't even know what it looks like. It's really hard to encapsulate what land development is because it can be all sorts of things. But that particular tract, I mean, I built a pier on it, like it was on a lake, built a fishing pier, put a road in, cleaned it up, did some things. I mean, I hate the term flip because that's not what that is. That is, you are developing property for the things that I like to do. And so, I mean, I made like $2,000 on the backside. I mean, it was nothing, but it sparked a huge interest in land development. That was 2010. And so fast forward, I've been trying to compound that and do more and different things. And so, you know, to the point of always trying to stretch my knowledge and just a challenge and all that. I have I bought my first, we do a lot of like farm and ranch kind of recreational stuff out of state now. And I bought my first farm in Illinois, I would say, I want to say it was 12 years ago, 10, I don't know, 10 years ago maybe. Anyway, and that's a challenge. You know nothing about the market. And it would scare most people to death. I mean, it is scary, but I've leaned in heavily on the out-of-state stuff now. I've done 2 in Illinois, 1 in Kansas, 1 in Kentucky. I've got 2 in Oklahoma right now, and then I've got 1 in Montana. And to answer your question about the rabbit hole, like this deal in Montana is just a whole nother world. It's a huge learning curve. I mean, I could talk about
Why?
this
Is
for
it
days.
the state? Is it like the terrain?
Terrain, it is. So the place that I bought is they get 10 to 12 inches of rain a year. We get 55 inches of rain a year here.
Jeez.
Water rights, you have to have right to use the water in the creeks. We don't have that here in Mississippi. It is just, for instance, I just put in a driveway on the place I bought out there. Goes across to me it's a ditch, but they call it a creek out there, and had to put a culvert in. I had to get a permit from Montana. It's a misdemeanor if you don't get a permit to put a culvert in a ditch in Montana. Blew my mind. I had no idea. Thankfully, the contractor I'm working with out there told me, like, hey, you need to probably check and make sure. Sure enough, huge process. Have to have an on-site meeting. Okay, I'm 25 hours away. That's not happening. So I had to pay
Yeah.
a contractor $500 to go meet the Montana Fishery, Wildlife and Parks representative out there. It's just a huge learning curve on that. And it's been a challenge. It's been really good, but all kind of facets of that. It's the terrain. I mean, like I'm looking at building, you probably saw on Facebook, I'm trying to find a camper, like
I
a
did see
travel
that.
trailer.
Have you found
Well,
one?
that's for Montana. I'm getting really close. I just don't want like a nasty camper,
Yeah.
but I also don't want something so nice because I'm putting it in Montana. It's 25 hours away. Then you start thinking about snow load.
Have you thought about trying to buy one in Montana? Like
I've looked at
join
that
a
as well.
Montana
But here's the
Facebook group?
problem. Everything is so expensive in Montana. It's the labor rates are twice as high. Everything is just, it's ridiculous. So it's been a huge learning curve, but I feel like I have just been drinking through a fire hose out there. It's all been good. It's going to be really great. I've got a really, really good ranch that I bought that was very under marketed. And so like, that's my high. Like if I find
Yeah.
the place, I just bought a place in Oklahoma, terrible marketing. So I found this place. It's got all the potential. I go in there and unlock the potential because I'm looking for all these different things. I can sit there and look at maps and see creeks and topography and just where it's in relation to different things. I don't know. There's a lot that goes into that from a recreational side, but I do this all day, every day. And so I can look at an aerial map and cull it out immediately. I know we're probably not heading the direction you want to go, but like passion, that's where
Yeah.
that's where
Obviously.
my passion is. But it all kind of goes back to just the challenges. So,
Yeah.
but this all that comes from like, I know one of the questions you had put on the thing for me to think about was like, what does your day look like? And it's a typical day is nonstop. But I wouldn't have it any other way. And I'm not griping or anything like that because I love what I'm doing. But I don't know. I see people like lunch breaks and all that. Like, I've never in my life done that. I don't sit down and be like, oh, let me take 15 minutes to, recharge my batteries. It's all day, but I love it.
Walk us through your day.
Well,
Kick
let's
off
see.
the day with a pink slush
It
of
depends
lime.
on, yeah, pink slush Alani. Yeah, you're not going to see me drinking it, but I drink it. Those things are so good. It depends. So, I mean, every day is totally different in real estate because you get curveballs. One of the biggest things is people hold their fires. If you got a fire on Friday, most people hold it till Monday, and then they hit you in the face with it Monday. So I try to be prepared for that. What I do, like on Mondays, I get up at 4:30 most Mondays, and I do as much office work as I can, uninterrupted. And by office work, I'm talking about running through all the emails. A lot of my job is a lot of PDF sending back and forth, downloading, DocuSigning. That's just a lot of that stuff. So like getting that off my plate, getting a clean email sheet, and then bills. Like, I mean, I'm gonna show how archaic I am, but like I write checks for every bill.
Really?
Well, let me back up. I'm on auto pay on a lot of stuff,
Yeah.
but like if I get like a single thing comes in, like an insurance policy renewal, I write a check. And so I do all that.
Pap all.
I pap all. I've got forever stamps. My dad worked at the post office, so I got rolls of forever stamps in my drawer, and I just, I'm a big check writing, envelope filling out, and that's terrible because you're wasting so much time. But you could spin off on this thing so many different directions. But like the reason I do that is because I'm so cheap that, like, for instance, had to renew insurance policy on one of my rental houses. Okay, well, if it's $1,800 to renew the policy, how are you going to pay for it? Your insurance agent, how do you pay for, let's just say you had a rental house and they're like, hey, Anna, $1,800. How you going to pay? What are you doing?
I don't know, ACH or something?
Okay, well,
Maybe I would write a check. I do
there's
have
a
check.
fee for the ACH. And if
if
you use a credit card, it's a 3% charge. What do you do?
I'll pay it anyway. But
You'll pay it. What do you mean?
I'd pay the fee. I'd pay the 3%.
See,
But you would never. You would never.
No, ma'am,
Yeah.
absolutely not.
Which you're insanely financially sound, and that's a whole section I want to talk about. Because I should think that way. I should be like, no, don't pay the 3%.
I could go down. I mean, people that know me know how cheap I am, and they make fun of me all the time. But that's how you build wealth.
Yeah.
100%. And I get very micro with this.
Okay.
And it's going to make me look like an absolute nerd, but I will spill the beans on it. So,
Let her rip.
well, for instance, I sold a piece of land on Monday. It was a $500,000 deal. I got the money. In my mind, I have a money market. It's paying 4%. As soon as I can get that 500,000 into the money market, it's making 4% on 500,000. 4% on 500,000. What is that? 10%, 5. So $20,000 a year. So 4% annually on 500,000 is 20,000. And I go, we'll just do it right here. So if I put $500,000 in the money market at 4%, that's $20,000 a year is making an interest. Divided by 365 days, that's $54 a day. So every day that I don't get that money in the money market, it's costing me $54. So this is going to get really nerdy. Mm-hmm. Let's say, all right, you get the 500,000. How do you want that money? Like if you had the closing, you can either go pick up a check or you can wire me the money. Well, just wire me the money, because if you wire me the money, it's going to instantly be in my account. Okay. If you get a check and if you physically give me a check and I go to the bank and I deposit it, they're going to put a hold on it.
Yeah.
For 7 days because it's $500,000. Okay. Well, they hold it for 7 days. The money market would make $54 a day. So that's $350. If I can get that money in the money market, it's making me $350. It costs $25 to wire it. So I pay a $25 wire fee. That's $325 I saved by being on it. Like, no games. And that's like very anal about it. But you start doing that with everything. Yeah. Everything. It's little things like that I've done for years. Like, that's why I'm writing checks instead of paying 3%. You start paying 3% on all these little fees. That stuff adds up. Mm-hmm. But anyway.
What goes through your mind, like for investments? If people are thinking about, okay, I want to start investing in real estate, or if they want to, whatever it is, like if they need an investment or they want to make an investment, what's the thought process behind justifying if it's a good decision or not?
Well, I mean, there's so many different avenues for investments. obviously I'm extremely heavily interested in real estate. I do think, I mean, you look at anybody that's wealthy, and, you know, wealthy's a relative term, but like everybody has a component of real estate in their portfolio that has money. And so I am a huge proponent of that. I think, you know, you got to know what you're doing, or you got to be working with a broker or somebody that's going to be able to find the deals and help you and all that sort of thing. But, you know, like some people invest in the stock market. I do not know what I'm doing in the stock market. I have played around in Robinhood, and I have been burned and learned to stay in my lane, you know, but I think it's healthy to be, and we can get into all of that, like being liquid versus, you know, like cash poor and asset heavy is more the camp that I go in. But there's other people that are like, oh no, like rainy day, I need liquid.
Yeah.
Like Dave Ramsey, he wouldn't get in the truck with me. I mean, you know, you can get into the whole debt, good debt versus bad debt. I'd be happy to talk about that. I love debt if it's good debt.
What defines good debt?
Okay, I'll give you an example. I bought a dental clinic in Flowood, and so there's a tenant in place, so they're paying X amount a month. They got a thing what they call a cap rate, which is basically the return that you're making on the money. So like if you were to pay cash for this dental clinic, it's making about 8.1% return. That's the cap rate. And that's what I bought it at. Well, I can go get a loan for, in this case, 5.7%. So I'm clearing 2.4% above the bank's money. So good to me, good debt is when it cash flows. That's what you call cash flow. Like if the asset was making 5.7% and you're taking a loan out for 5.7, if everything nets out and you break even, then it cash flows. So anything above that is just gravy. So that would be a good investment. Now, you know, people are going to jump on and say, well, what if they don't pay? Or that's, you know, that is the risk. Like vacancy is a huge part of it. But like going and buying a ski boat and taking a loan out on it, it's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. You will never catch me doing that. Like it's just, that goes back to assets versus liabilities. Real estate's an appreciating asset. You know, thankfully I've never done like business debt, you know, taking a loan out for a business. I mean, that would be a whole different deal, but I could see that being good debt if you were making a bunch of money with the bank's money. But you look like you just about to fall asleep.
No, I'm thinking a lot. What's your top financial advice or like rules that you would tell maybe a small business owner that's like trying to get their finances in order?
Ooh. I mean, watching every dime and knowing where it goes.
I've heard that.
The fly by the seat of your pants and just throwing money at the wall and hope it sticks on things, like, no, it's got to be 100% calculated.
Yeah. And I've heard you need to be looking at your account every day. Like,
I look at my account twice a day. And I know where everything's going. One of the things that I do is, so I've got spreadsheets, obviously. And if you listen to my story on my episode, I mean, I get that from my dad, and the graph paper where he had a ledger for everything I did when I was a kid, literally. I mean, buying candy as a kid. I mean, it was,
yeah.
I had a bank account on a piece of graph paper.
It's funny thinking about your episode and how much you talked about your dad and like how he was financially. And now I'm sitting here listening to you and I'm like, okay.
Yeah. And I have loosened up a little bit over the years, but I don't regret doing what I did at all. Like I was extremely frugal. very conscious of where everything went. And a lot of those traits carry forward now, and like the spreadsheets. So what I do every year is I take my total income, and that's one of my biggest things. Any kind of, especially like self-employed, you've got to have multiple irons in the fire. Like there's just no way in the world that I would be solely reliant on real estate commissions from selling homes and land. Like there's no way that's just an extremely volatile deal. So, you know, rental property, real estate, running the brokerage, dirt pit, I mean, CRP programs on my land, land development. Like I've got a lot of tentacles out there for income streams.
Yeah.
And that's huge to me. Now, some of those streams don't bring in a bunch, but it's a melting pot. And when one goes down in a cyclical industry like real estate, the others pick up when one goes down, and it's, I don't know, it is vital to have that. And so what I do is every year I take my income, I look at everything I've got, and then I attribute my time. I take my time over here and I look at this and I say, okay, how much of my time went to the brokerage? How much time do I think I spent on the brokerage relative to how much money I made? How much time on me selling real estate? How much time on land development? How much time on rental property? How much time on, all these things? And it forces you to pour gas on some things, cull some things out, hire different things. So like I'm in real estate and I have had rental property. I bought my first rental house in 2014, still own it today. And I have self-managed all my rental properties since then. I've done everything. I've found the tenant, I've done the leasing, I've managed the repairs, done everything. I literally just moved over my first rental house to a management company. And it's because the time. I look at it and I'm
more
like,
and more valuable.
I'm losing some of the money, the net income, the return on that rental property. I'm losing a portion of it by paying management fees. But it's all in the name of, and that's as you grow through your career, it's like time becomes evident how valuable your time is. It's the biggest commodity that we have. And you're not getting any more of it. So,
Yep.
and where I'm at, or what has caused me to make those moves is like, if I can extract my time and get it back, I can go make, based on this chart, I'm making more money on developing land. Let's go focus on finding some more land. And then let this man manage the rental property. So that would be one of my biggest things that I would kind of advise. You just have your thumb on where every dollar is going and constantly I do goals, and hold yourself accountable. Look at those goals. I mean, I know I've said this 100 times. Look at the goals every single day. Just look at them. Literally just look at it. And it'll blow your mind how you'll gravitate toward the goal by default, just because you're in a habit. You're looking at it. It's top of mind. And
Yeah.
having a group of people, have friends that you share those goals with, and you make them hold you accountable and make them call you out if you're not hitting it. And those goals are not just monetary goals. They're whatever. I want to read books. I want to lose weight. I want to whatever.
Yeah. That's huge, because I hear that all the time. Like, set goals and even look at them every day. But honestly, to share them with someone, like to be vulnerable and share, like, this is what I'm tracking towards, and to have
Be vulnerable and say the ones you miss.
Yeah.
Because if you hit 8 out of 10 goals, you still won.
Yeah.
And then the next year you can laser focus on the 2 that you missed. I think I don't even know where that came from. Because like I was no star student at all. I mean, before they had iPad or AirPods, I mean, I remember being in college listening to country music with a Walkman during class.
Oh my
This
gosh.
is pre-AirPods. I was not your
So
star
you were
student.
just there because you had to be there.
Yeah, and I just don't know where all the goal setting stuff came from, but I literally have done that. I've got a spreadsheet with every dime that I've made since 2011. And to be able to go back and track that and look at the stair steps through the years of what things kind of blew up and what things is like need to be shucked.
Yeah.
And the compounding effect is so huge. Like I can't overemphasize that. And it takes time to make money. You know, and you hear these people to say like your first million's is always the hardest. And like there's no truer words ever spoken, because that whole first million, say, if there's some, you know, the first million is made by earned income. So earned income would be you go to work, you get your check, and like
Yeah.
it's just a slow grind. But that second million from 1 to 2 goes twice as fast, because the compounding effect, if you're doing it right and not buying ski boats, if you put it in place, put it in a money market, you buy real estate, you do these things, you leverage off of it, get some good debt, like make sound decisions, that leveraging effect just grows exponentially to the point where, I mean, you got me all fired up. I'm just rolling right now. But so the whole goal here is retire, right? I mean, you don't
Yeah.
want to work till you're 90, I wouldn't imagine.
I don't know.
But
I would want to do
I'm
something,
not saying go
but
sit on the
yes, like,
couch. I'm not saying go sit on the
Yeah.
couch, but like whatever you're passionate about that it doesn't make you money, you would want to go do that
Right.
more hours of the day than you would draft a marketing proposal, I would imagine.
right, I'd say.
So if we're all moving towards the goal of retirement, what is retirement? So to like retirement is when you have enough money to float your cost of living and not have to go get a job. So how do you get there? Well, you get there by having passive investments that produce enough money to cover the gap. So the compounding effect, like that's where putting that money in income producing things or anything that's not a liability until you get it up enough to where, you know, what's his name? Robert Kiyosaki always says, like, let your assets pay for your liabilities. So I'm not saying don't ever go buy a ski boat, but like if you got rental
Yeah.
property that's spitting off 50 grand a year net profit, then go buy a ski boat and pay
Yeah.
cash for the ski boat. Don't go get a 8% loan on the ski boat and then put $4 a gallon gas in it.
Yeah. Everything you're saying is so logical, which is, I think,
It
good.
seems elementary to me because I've been doing it for so long and it's just like ingrained in my head. But
for people whose brains don't work that way, or they just need, like, go back to the basics,
yeah,
like, just keep doing that, the basics of what you're saying. And even like having a spreadsheet. I bet at the beginning, if you're tracking and you're making $75 on something, like it would feel like, why am I tracking this right now? But the fact you can go back so many years and know, that's invaluable. I want to stop here and tell you about our sponsors for today's episode, Service Specialists and Environment Masters. Maybe you're hiring and you need the right person, not just the next resume in the stack. Or maybe you're the one quietly wondering if there's a career that better aligns with your future. Either way, Service Specialist starts the same. They take the time to know you. Mississippi's oldest recruiting firm, connecting talent and employers since 1967, because the right fit comes from relationships, not job boards. Find them at servicespecialistltd.com. This episode is also sponsored by Environment Masters. When your AC quits in the middle of a Mississippi summer, you don't want a voicemail. You want a real person who shows up on time and does the job right. Environment Masters has been keeping local homes cool, dry, and running since 1957. 3 generations, honest opinions, no upselling. Just HVAC, plumbing, and electrical done the way it should be. Learn more at environmentmasters.com. And thank you both for sponsoring this episode.
I hear like, I got some buddies that talk about like farmers in the Delta that they're really hard workers and they're really good workers, but they're not really, some of them are not business savvy. And it's like, just go buy chemical, go buy seed, just, no negotiation, they just going and working and doing whatever and have no clue the numbers.
Yeah.
Like you've got to ratchet down on every dime and where it's going and how, make sure you're not getting, leaving meat on the bone somewhere. I don't know that. Again, that stuff seems elementary to me. It would stress me out to not know, have a thumb on everything because there's things that, I mean, I'm guilty of this, but I mean, everybody probably is like this subscription based
Right.
stuff,
That's what I was just about to say. In the digital age where one, you have a card for like everything, which just doesn't feel like cash for a lot of people. Like for
Yes.
some people it does, but it kind of doesn't. If you're like actually have a 20 and you're paying for something.
Yeah.
And then subscriptions just being on. And I mean, auto pay too, which is great. And they'll give you a discount now if you set up auto pay. So it's like, okay, well, I am saving money. But then they go up on their prices, or you don't need
Yes.
like certain things. So it's harder, I feel like it has to be harder today to have a true grip on what you're spending than it used to be when you're paying cash for everything.
Absolutely. Yeah. You start handing somebody cash and you won't spend near the amount. I
Yeah.
mean, look at Amazon. I mean, you don't even have time to think about what you just like. Did it really make sense? It's like a won't buy it. I mean, we're
Yep.
all guilty of that.
Yep.
No, it's all the little things add up, especially in that, the growing phase in the beginning, every dollar counts. But perfect example is like those insurance policies. They're going to offer you two options: pay by the month, pay it in full, and you get a discount. It's like there needs to be no question in the world. It needs to be paid in full for the discount. If that means you can't go eat Kessler Prime at night, put it off for a month, whatever, like you've got to do those things because back to the $54 a day for having the money sitting in the money market, that $54 just bought you steak.
Right.
And that's where I see laziness creep in. I mean, all those things, it's like, I mean, that right there with the money, if it goes in the money market and starts making money, well, it's Friday and you're getting the check, but you're going to the beach. Like, I'll get it Monday. Boom, 3 days, $150. Just bought 2 dinners. All you had to do was make a phone call, wire the money into the bank, you're done. I don't know. That's, again, that shows how big of a nerd I am with it. But that's been that implemented in every facet of my business. There is no air gaps for like it ain't gonna fail because there ain't no air gaps.
Yeah. And I mean, you having so many, you have properties in how many states? Like the farms and the
I sold
ranches
the
you
Kentucky
mentioned.
stuff, but I've got 2 in Oklahoma, 1 in Montana, and then the rest is in Mississippi.
It's just the more you start investing and the more assets you have, I would think to me, if you're not tight on your finances and you do have those air gaps, they're going to get bigger and bigger and more.
Oh, they're gonna get huge. And look, so like Montana, Oklahoma stuff, I paid cash for it because I'm learning that market. I don't have room to go take a loan out and catch a side hook on the chin and learn. And
Yeah.
I don't have room for that. So like,
Yeah.
it was very calculated. I've been studying Montana for years. It is so far away. I mean, it's almost near Canada. And again, I know nothing about the market. Now, I've traveled and visited Montana and all that stuff, but like, I say this all the time. Like, everybody talks about doing this kind of stuff. There wasn't nobody sitting at the table with me signing that closing document and writing that check. There wasn't a soul there, but I'm not scared of it because I've put myself in those challenging environments for years. And I've just pushed myself and pushed myself. But I'm very methodical. It's not shooting by the hip. I went in with a plan this has been a plan for 3 to 5 years ago where I'm socking money away when the deal comes up. I'm not scrambling and, let me sell this so that I can, hey, hey, this place came up in Montana that I really want to buy. Let me sell this and this and this. No, it was, we're going to execute. We found it. Perfect example. It's been very expensive. The improvements, the land development. Of course, it stresses me out not being there.
I'm
You know,
sure.
I had to FaceTime my contractor to find where to put the house pad,
Ooh,
and it stressed me out.
I
FaceTiming
bet.
him. And but you know, with all the maps and software we've got, I got access to some updated satellite imagery that updates every few days. So like I can go see where he put the house pad in on a map. That's the coolest thing ever.
That is cool.
So, you know, but in doing that, it's been very expensive, but it is what it is, and I'm prepared for it because I don't have a big loan hanging over my head that's going to mature in a couple of years. And, you know, that's where we see people, you know, like 4 or 5 years ago that bought land, and when rates were 3 or 4%, those loans, they're like on 5-year fixed rates. They have a balloon come up, they renew, the rate doubles.
Yeah.
And nobody is preparing themselves for that 5 years ago.
Right.
They're like, oh, this is a great rate. It's what I want. They go buy the land, then they buy the side by side, and they buy the brand new tractor, and they buy all the implements, and they're probably getting a note on that stuff. And then 5 years comes, and it's like, oh, by the way, your payment on your land doubled.
Oof.
If you ain't prepared for that,
No
then
bueno.
tractors for sale, side by sides
Yeah.
for sale. What do you want? I just want to pay off. You know, that's all that stuff has got to be methodical from the beginning.
Yeah.
And if you want to get in that space and you don't know any, like, you need to get next to somebody that knows what they're doing and pick their brain.
Okay, talk to us about people. That's one thing, just like working with people. What characteristics make a good employee?
Ooh,
There's a lot of really average employees out there, and business owners feel that. And it's like I would love to hear to them, like, you could just be great if you just do these few things. Also, people coming out of college into the workplace. This generation is tricky. And I don't know why I feel so passionate about, like, if I could just talk to those kids and tell them, if you will just do these few things, you will stand out. You'd have a great career. Like, but you got to do these things. They don't know.
yeah.
It doesn't seem like a lot of them are naturally just that way anymore. They're not motivated. They don't take
Yeah.
initiative. They don't, like, they're just kind of lazy.
Yeah. And the generation before us said the same thing about, like, my generation. They all said the same thing. But it is,
Maybe it's just that age. Maybe it's just part of maturing. I don't know.
I don't know, but it's a real thing. People are lazy.
Yeah.
I mean, I will say it. People are just lazy. Traits in an employee, to me, I mean, obviously trust, is always going to be up at the top. But I think the biggest thing to me is initiative, if that's a trait.
Yeah.
If you've got initiative, for instance, you show up to, let's say you're a mechanic and you show up to the shop to work in the morning. If you take the initiative to start cleaning the floor or start finding something to do, the boss man is going to recognize that, and it's going to go way further than, well, I'm just waiting on you to tell me what to do. Like that, that posture out the gate determines where you're going with everything. I mean, I can relate that to a real estate agent who's self-employed, basically. I mean, they're, my agents that work under me are 1099. So like, I don't call them and wake them up and ask them who they called that day and what they did.
Yeah.
They're their own boss in that regard. But it's like, if they have initiative, I just see it play out. I've seen it when we've hired hundreds of agents over the years. And you can see it from a mile away. If they get up, take initiative, they're not waiting on somebody to call them, their grassroots effort, and they're pushing and going, like those are the people that, ironically, they're the ones that are successful. And the ones that sit there and are like, woe me, and waiting on the phone to ring, and just, So to me, initiative is a springboard for the rest of your career. That's just my opinion. So
Yeah.
if you got initiative, I'm interested in talking to you. But if you don't, you can't create motivation, so I can't help you.
I think that makes so much sense. And as a business owner, it's like if someone comes in and does, like, they're a few steps ahead of you. They're not sitting waiting for you to tell them what to do. And that's helping you, like they do something
Yes.
that's helping you. The cognitive load, it's already a little less because, like,
Oh
you're already,
gosh.
yeah, I'm not having to give you a list. I don't have to stop what I'm doing to give you a list. You're already doing some things and helping. And then if I'm thinking about people that are valuable, like that, they
So
give you
that's
time
yes.
back, which is your
Yes.
most important thing.
It's a really good point. And I've talked about this before, and this is my flaw. I'm bad at it, is just letting go. Letting go and growing. Delegating. I've always struggled with that. Never had a real estate assistant. I've never had a W-2 employee in all my years. Call it OCD or whatever. I've just never done it. And here lately, I have hired a guy that is helping me on the land development side of things. And to your point, I've just never been exposed to this. But, I came in the other day and he's like, grease the tractor. And I'm like, I didn't ask him to do that.
Yeah.
Pressure washing some of the equipment, the bush hogs and stuff. And I'm like, that, just what you just said, the cognitive load, I've never been privy to that. And now, back to my time extraction. Of course, I didn't sign up to pay him a salary until I had my ducks in a row. And I knew without a shadow of a doubt I could pay him, because that was a big part for me, was like the burden of like,
Yeah.
you're entrusting me with your livelihood. Like, he may not know that I'm scared that I'm, like,
Yeah.
I've got to pay you. And, but with that whole thing, his initiative, now I'm like, the value, huge value.
You're immediately like, that was a good decision. Like,
yes.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I should have done this 5 years ago. But I'm too tight and I didn't. But no, that's time and having good employees. And I know different industries, you're going to deal with different struggles with labor. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah. And that's been a common theme, I feel like, with every guest we've had on. They all have some sort of struggle with it, but it's all kind of different. It just depends.
Yeah, because it's like if you own
it.
an engineering firm and you're hiring engineers, you're hiring just a different employee setting than whenever I had the water damage and mold remediation deal and I was hiring people to help me suck up raw sewage.
Yeah.
It's a different.
Quite different. Okay. I feel like we'll probably wrap up this episode soon. I want to do some like quick rapid fire. I love rapid fire questions. So like don't even think about it too long. You got to have a quick response. Best money you've spent on your business. Now let's say the brokerage.
The best money I've spent on my brokerage?
Yeah.
I have no idea. I really don't. Ask me something else.
Okay.
The best money I've spent on my brokerage?
Can you think about it in another area?
What you mean?
Like your other avenues.
Other business stuff?
Yeah.
I would say I use Land ID as a mapping software, and it's about $100 a month, so $1,200 a year. I'm a big numbers guy. If you don't know, it's
Obviously.
all lump sum. It's $1,200 a year. It ain't $100 a month.
Yeah.
You got to look at it big picture. That $1,200, I use it every single day. I use it in the real estate sales. I use it on the land development. That's probably my biggest return on investment, I would say.
Okay. And that was my next one was tool or app that you use every day or be lost without. It's probably, they go hand in hand.
Yeah, they definitely go hand in hand.
I would say I was thinking about that one for us. This year, I feel like I've been pouring a lot into the business and making some bigger financial decisions. One, hiring an operator, which is Hope, and she just helps run the business so I can focus on the business
Right.
more. And that's been really helpful because it's given me more time back. Two, an office space. Like that was a leap because the first 2 years of the company, one, it was me for the first year, but growing remote, like being remote, but then growing the business and then having a space we can all go. It's improved our work so much. It's given us a place for clients to come. But I'm already paying salary. So then like the rent on top of that,
Yeah.
I was nervous about it, but it's been great. I feel
See,
like
that's the
been
difference between me and you is like you have to commit to all these payrolls.
Yeah.
And I've got agents that like I don't pay them unless they sell something. So I commend you for going out on that
I
limb.
envy your
The setting.
framework a little bit.
Yeah, the 1099 deal it's been a really good thing over the years. Just we our structure with our agents is just so good where they make so much money.
Yeah.
I mean, they can make 95% of every dollar. So like
It's a great setup for the
So like
agents.
when we put those posts out there, when you put the post out there for us that says, we did $18 million, Paul did not make $18 million.
Right.
Paul did not make a fraction of that. Mm-hmm.
But because of the way you're wired and because you're not natural at delegation, like, can you imagine having all those agents like you would?
I wouldn't have it. That's why I'm where I'm at. I'm not good with managing people and I feel bad. This is the terrible thing. Like the guy I've got now that's helping us on land development. There's slow times, it's up and down. I'm like, there may be times where you're weed eating the grass at the house. And like, I feel bad asking him to do that. But then in my mind, I'm like, it's either he's going to do it or I'm going to do it,
Right.
And it's like, I don't know. I guess just having done all those very, very dirty jobs growing up, I will do anything, but I don't know. I'm a people pleaser, and that's just part of my struggle is like, asking people to do things. I'm just like, I'll just do it.
Yeah. That's tough.
But
It's a learning curve.
Yeah, you do really good at delegating.
I'm learning every day.
But
I put way
you
too
just
much
do
on
it.
my plate that I probably shouldn't. And so I will get overwhelmed and then I'm just learning every day. Like, okay, I
Well,
probably
that's part of the
not.
whole figuring it out.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm still
yeah,
new in this
you'll
business.
learn what to say no to and
Yeah.
what to take on. But the only way to learn it is by stepping in it and being like, whoop, shouldn't have stepped in that.
Right.
So you're doing it the right way because the flip side of that is scared.
And then you
I
don't
ain't
do it.
doing it.
Yeah.
And I ain't gonna take a leap. And I ain't gonna leave my job. I ain't gonna do this. Like, scared money don't make money.
True. All right. Last two questions. A book that changed you.
You can go to the next one.
Come on. You don't read any books? You never read a book?
I do not read books. Wild at Heart is
That's
a
a good
book.
one.
I need to reread it. I think that's the only book I've read, honestly, in the last years. But that is not really a business thing, but just
That's a good, like, overall.
yeah, like just the inner child in a man and how they want to be warriors and do all this stuff. It'll make you not want to go in a cubicle. That's a fact.
Yeah. I bet.
Next question. What you got?
Best advice you've ever gotten.
Best advice I have been given.
Or just like advice you live by, like something that someone told you at one point and you're like, yeah, I still do that. Or advice you give to other people. Like it's something so good you pass it along.
Hannah, why you got to do that?
I see some of these questions. You knew I would ask this one.
I did not know this one was coming. I mean, I hate to just be cliche and say, do what you say you're going to do and all that. But to kind of hit back on your point of like, what would you tell a kid
Yeah.
that's coming out of school? There is an epidemic going on where people will not do what they say they're going to do and will not follow up. I have got actively probably 6 things going where they will not. Montana. I'm trying to convert a windmill well to a solar well, and I have called 3 drilling contractors to give me a quote. Oh, I'll come out Monday. Monday comes and goes. I've got a call this afternoon with one of our marketing website things that we pay a subscription to. Told me last week, let's have a phone call Monday. Okay, today's Thursday. I texted him on Tuesday and said, this Monday? Like,
Yeah.
follow up, do what you say. This is so elementary, but it is an epidemic. Got a surveyor right now. Says he was going to survey on Monday. It's Thursday. And there's been zero communication.
Crazy too, because these are people you're giving money to.
That's what I'm saying. It's like, hey, and I got to be the one to bump you and be like, hey, Hannah,
Do you want?
I'm trying to put money in your pocket. Will you let me in?
Yeah.
I don't know what that stems from, but like that's a huge problem.
Yeah.
But it's also a huge, back to your question of the advice. I'm telling you, it makes me just want to go do it. You can start any company and make it work and make money. If you it's so elementary. Do what you say you're going to do. Pick the phone up. It will spread like wildfire.
Yep.
And it's so, I don't know, it's unbelievable. I mean, that's part of the reason that I hired this new guy. It's like, all right, you're going to go do this because I can't get nobody to do it.
Yeah.
So that, if I was coming out of college right now and I knew what I knew now, I would go start anything that I was passionate about. I saw that was one of your questions. Like, if you were going to start something, what would you do? I would start a tree cutting company right now.
I'm trying to get my
And if our
brother-in-law to do
listeners,
that.
if somebody goes and does it, I'm going to be so mad. Or at least let me go in with you and be a equity partner or something. Or somebody's got a
That's
tree
so
company and they
funny.
want to sell. Let me buy it. I've got a passion for that.
Cutting trees and growing them, apparently.
Yeah, growing them, cutting them.
Why
But
do you
I mean,
have a- why
I
do you have a
promise you, I
passion
could
for
go
it?
in that market right now and disrupt it. I promise you I could.
I'm literally trying to get my brother-in-law to do this. I'm sure his employee's not listening. Because it's like, one, they've had to cut several trees in their yard. It's insanely expensive
Yes, super
to
expensive.
do. So obviously, like, pretty lucrative business, I'm assuming. But it's like, go and do it. And in any service, and what you're saying, I feel the same way. Like when we talked about that question, I don't know what I would do, but I would just do a really good job at it, and it would be a successful business. If you just like have a good service or product and do
Lean
what you
in.
say you're going to do, be a responsible person, communicate,
Yes.
follow up with people after the fact, like tell them thank you for your business.
That is just the base level and you will be successful.
Yeah, isn't
you
that
start
crazy?
adding on like, hey, we're cutting trees in your yard and you stick a sign in the yard like we do our real estate signs, trees being cut by, Paul's tree service. Like that's just one little layer. The brand recognition, blah, 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 all the things. Nobody does. It's like, I don't know.
Maybe I'll start the business with you. We'll just talk about it after this.
There you go. I will be,
But I had that same thought when we talked about that question. Like I have some ideas for businesses I would like to do, but like at the end of the day, whatever it is, like if you just do a good job, and I see that with clients that we market for,
Yeah.
because something
Oh,
will be
gosh,
broken
yeah.
and they are like, hey,
you're
we
getting
need,
the inside look.
yeah,
on
100%. And then they're like, we need more business. We need to market it. And if they don't have a good product or service,
Yeah.
don't pay for us. Go
Right.
fix that
Yes,
first.
Yes.
Because you're making our job 10 times harder if your techs are crappy and they're rude and unprofessional and they don't have a good experience with your company. They're
Right,
not going to
yeah.
refer you.
That's exactly. You're wasting money at that point. No, back to the whole challenge thing, always pushing myself. Like, I want to buy a business. I've never bought a,
Yeah.
existing business. I want to do that. One, for the challenge part, but two, like I have looked at a couple of businesses and gotten into it, signed NDAs and like got into it, looked at the books and everything. And like, I just want to grab that business and just like shake it to life because like one I looked at was handwritten invoices. I mean, again, I write checks, but like handwritten invoices. We don't take credit cards. I'm like, wait a minute. Like, this is 2026? Like, the client needs to be able to Venmo you, credit cards, something.
Yeah.
And I don't know. Yes, I am a firm believer. The woe me stuff I don't buy into any of that stuff. I mean, that's just pure laziness. It's a cop out.
Hate that.
You could start any business for the most part, in any relatively, ongoing industry, you can get in there and disrupt it. So
Cool. Well, hopefully some of our listeners will do that.
we need to do this more often.
I think it's great. Maybe we should do it like every few months.
Maybe
or
we should
something.
ask the listeners if there's any kind of pointed topic that they want us to harp on,
Yeah.
dive into.
Yeah, if you do, let us know. If there's certain areas that you want to learn more about, if you want an episode just about finances, if we want one, I don't know, just about management. Like, we could get on particular guests to speak to certain topics.
Yes.
Or even just have conversations like this where
Yeah.
we dive in a little bit more. So
We could also do Shark Tank. We could bring somebody in that wants to sell. We could
that'd be
see
great.
if we can invest with them, and
I would love that.
that'd be pretty cool. Yeah.
Cool.
Maybe a tree company will reach out and we can
Probably will.
become certified arborists overnight. All right, then, enjoyed it. See ya.